Have you ever pondered on the relevance of the Brahmo Samaj in the 21st century? This question might seem obscure, but it's a gateway to a profound exploration of a fascinating chapter of Indian history. The Brahmo Samaj, a socio-religious reform movement, emerged in the 19th century, challenging traditional norms and fostering a revolution of thought. This journey doesn't merely reside in the annals of history. Its threads weave into the fabric of our contemporary lives, shaping societal values and perspectives. But how? What values did the Brahmo Samaj espouse that still resonate today? How did it bring about a paradigm shift in Indian society? Our upcoming journey promises to be an enlightening one as we unravel the mysteries of Brahmo Samaj. We'll trace its roots, explore its core beliefs, and examine its far-reaching impact. So, fasten your seatbelts and brace yourselves for an intriguing historical voyage. Join us as we delve into the origins, beliefs, and impact of the Brahmo Samaj. The Brahmo Samaj didn't just appear out of thin air. It originates from the rich tapestry of India's cultural and religious history. The seeds of the Brahmo Samaj were sown in the 19th century, during a period of intense social and religious change in India. The British colonial rule had introduced Western education and ideas, and this was stirring a new consciousness among the Indian populace. Many started questioning traditional religious practices and social norms, seeking to reconcile their faith with the modern world. Enter Rajaram Mohan Roy, a visionary and reformer, often hailed as the father of modern India. He was deeply disturbed by the prevalent religious superstitions and the rigidity of the caste system. He sought to bring about a transformation in the society and religion of his time. His efforts culminated in the establishment of the Brahmo Sabha in 1828, which later evolved into the Brahmo Samaj. Roy was a scholar of Sanskrit, Persian, and Arabic, and had also studied Christianity and Islam. His broad understanding of various religions led him to believe in a universal monotheistic faith. He advocated for a form of Hinduism that was purged of what he considered non-essential rituals and superstitions and emphasized the worship of one supreme being. Roy's pioneering work was carried forward by other stalwarts like Debendranath Tagore and Kashub Chunder Sen, who further shaped the doctrines and practices of the Brahmo Samaj. They worked tirelessly to promote social reforms such as women's education, abolition of child marriage, and the encouragement of widow remarriage. The Brahmo Samaj was not merely a religious movement. It was a socio-religious reform movement that sought to remake Indian society and religion along rational and humanistic lines. It was a radical departure from the traditional religious practices of the time, rejecting idolatry, temple rituals, and caste distinctions. The inception of the Brahmo Samaj marked a pivotal shift in India's religious landscape. It was a beacon of progressive change, lighting the way for a more rational, inclusive, and humane society. It was a testament to the transformative power of ideas and the enduring spirit of reform and renewal. And so, from the fertile soil of 19th century India, sprouted the Brahmo Samaj, a movement that would forever alter the course of India's religious and social history. So, what exactly does the Brahmo Samaj believe in? This question cuts to the heart of understanding this unique socio-religious movement that emerged in the 19th century in Bengal. The Brahmo Samaj's beliefs can be broadly categorized into religious beliefs, social beliefs, and the reformative stance they adopted. Firstly, the Brahmo Samaj is monotheistic in nature. This belief system is built around the idea that there is but one supreme God, a singular divine entity that is formless, omnipresent, and beyond human comprehension. Brahmo Samaj rejects the traditional Hindu pantheon of gods and goddesses, and it does not subscribe to the idea of avatars or divine incarnations. This monotheistic belief was a radical departure from the prevailing religious thought of the time and marked the Brahmo Samaj as a distinct entity within the broader Hindu religious landscape. Secondly, the Brahmo Samaj takes a strong stance against idol worship. They believe that God, being formless, cannot be represented by idols or images. This belief led them to eschew the traditional Hindu temple architecture and rituals centered around idol worship. Instead, their places of worship, known as Brahmo Mandirs, are simple halls where followers gather for congregational prayer and singing of hymns. The emphasis here is on the inner spiritual communion with the divine rather than outward ritualistic practices. The Brahmo Samaj also holds a set of beliefs centered on social reform. They were staunch advocates for gender equality and education for all. They opposed the caste system, child marriage, and the practice of sati, where a widow was traditionally expected to immolate herself on her husband's funeral pyre. These beliefs were not just theoretical. Members of the Brahmo Samaj actively worked towards implementing these social changes. They set up schools and colleges, pushed for legal reforms, and worked tirelessly to uplift the marginalized sections of society. In essence, the Brahmo Samaj sought to reconcile the spiritual and moral teachings of ancient Hindu scriptures with the scientific and rational thought of the modern world. They believed in the inherent goodness of human beings and the potential for spiritual growth and self-improvement. They promoted a form of worship that was deeply personal and devoid of ritualistic trappings. The Brahmo Samaj's beliefs were, and continue to be, rooted in the idea of a universal religion, one that transcends geographical boundaries and cultural differences. They advocate for a rational, ethical, non-sectarian, and spiritually fulfilling religion. The beliefs of the Brahmo Samaj were revolutionary for their time, challenging traditional religious practices and social norms. The Brahmo Samaj, with its progressive beliefs and reformative agenda, played a pivotal role in shaping the socio-religious landscape of India, leaving a lasting impact that is still visible today. The Brahmo Samaj didn't just influence religious thought, it left an indelible mark on Indian society. As we delve deeper into the impact of the Brahmo Samaj, it's crucial to appreciate its role in transforming both religious and societal norms. Let's start with a practice that shocked the world: sati. Sati was a ritual where a widow was expected to immolate herself on her husband's funeral pyre. The Brahmo Samaj, under the leadership of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, spearheaded a movement against this inhumane practice. Roy's relentless lobbying and the Samaj's persistent advocacy eventually led to the abolition of sati in 1839. This was a significant victory, marking the beginning of a series of social reforms. The Brahmo Samaj also played a pivotal role in promoting education. They believed in the power of knowledge to liberate minds, and hence, they established several schools and colleges throughout India. These institutions focused on imparting modern, secular education, emphasizing science and philosophy. The Brahmo Samaj's efforts significantly boosted literacy rates and fostered a culture of intellectual curiosity and critical thinking. One of the most profound impacts of the Brahmo Samaj was its contribution to women's rights. In a society where women were often confined to the private sphere, the Brahmo Samaj advocated for their right to education and their freedom from oppressive practices. They vehemently opposed child marriage and championed widow remarriage, two practices that were deeply entrenched in society. Debendranath Tagore, a central figure in the Samaj, once declared, "Our highest endeavor must be to develop free human beings who are able of themselves to impart purpose and direction to their lives." This sums up the Brahmo Samaj's commitment to individual freedom and self-determination, principles that were revolutionary in their time. The Brahmo Samaj also made strides in promoting religious tolerance and unity. They believed in the universal brotherhood of mankind and the essential unity of all religions. This belief led them to challenge the caste system, advocating for a society where all individuals were equal, regardless of their caste or creed. The impact of the Brahmo Samaj extends beyond these reforms. It played a significant role in shaping the Indian Renaissance, a period marked by a resurgence of intellectual, cultural, and social progress. The Brahmo Samaj's principles of rationalism, humanism, and inclusivity were instrumental in fostering this renaissance. In conclusion, the Brahmo Samaj profoundly influenced Indian society. It challenged oppressive traditions, championed social reform, and promoted a culture of rational thought and inclusivity. Its legacy is a testament to the power of progressive ideas to transform society. The Brahmo Samaj continues to inspire millions with its progressive ideas and principles. So where does the Brahmo Samaj stand today? In the 21st century, Brahmo Samaj continues to play a significant role in Indian society. It has stayed true to its roots, persisting in its mission to promote monotheism and social reform. The organization actively engages in various social and educational initiatives while maintaining its strong stance against idol worship and ritualistic practices. Brahmo Samaj's influence extends beyond its immediate community, touching the lives of countless Indians. Its ideals of equality, social justice, and intellectual freedom continue to inspire and shape the socio-cultural landscape of India. The organization's enduring focus on education and social upliftment has had a profound impact, fostering a spirit of progress and enlightenment. Despite the challenges of modernity, the Brahmo Samaj has remained steadfast in its commitment to its core principles. Its influence can be seen in the continued emphasis on social and educational reform in India. The legacy of the Brahmo Samaj lives on, its ideals still resonating in a world that continues to grapple with change.